Assalamualaikum and hi to Madam Nur who is currently watching this video presentation. My name is IZZATI binti AILANE. My matric number is 20208286 and 38. So for today, my groupmate and I will present to you the analysis of Apple and Samsung financial statements from year 2017 to 2021. Before we begin, I would like to introduce my other group members, who is NAJLA binti MOHAMAD YAAKOP, NURUL SYAHIDA binti ABDUL RAZAK, and NORZEDA SABARINA binti SABARUDDIN. I will start with presenting about overview of Apple's company background. Apple was founded in April 1976 by college dropouts Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who brought to the new company of a vision of changing the way of people build computer. Both of them wanted to make computers small enough for people to have them in their homes or office. Apple was established as a computer company, but later on, they expanded into an intricate company that specialized not just in computers. It engaged in designing, manufacturing and sales of consumer electronics and software products. The company's best known hardware products include Macintosh computers, the iPods, the iPhones, and the iPad. Moreover, its software includes the iTunes browser and its operation system known as Mac OS X. Next, I will continue with Samsung company background. Samsung has a very humble beginning which started in the year 1938, whereby Samsung's founder Lee Byung-chul set up a trade export company in Korea to export fish, vegetables and fruits to China. Samsung Electronics was founded in the year 1969 and quickly became a major manufacturer in the Korean market. Samsung engaged in consumer electronics, information technology, mobile communications, and device solutions businesses. Samsung Electronics core technology businesses diversified and expanded globally during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Samsung Electronics has assembly plants and sales networks in 74 countries and employs around 219,000 people. Okay, now I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NAJLA binti MOHAMAD YAAKOP. I will present a horizontal analysis of the balance sheet of Apple company. First is a total current asset is good because increase. The highest is in 2009, 6%, while the lowest is in 2018, 102.09%. Second is total asset is less satisfactory because they decrease every year. The highest total asset is in 2018, which is 97.44%, while the lowest is in 2020 at 86.3%. Next is total current liabilities, which is not good because the company in 2021 124.47% and the lowest is in 2020, which is 104.54%. Fourth is total liabilities are not good because the company has a lot of debt. The highest is in 2021, 119.33%, and the lowest is in 2019, 102.8%. 102.8%. Then total shareholders' equity is good in 2018, which is 79.93%, and the lowest is 47.06% in 2021. Finally, total equity and liabilities and shareholders' equity are good because every year decreases. The highest is in 2018, 97.44%, while the lowest is in 2020, which is 86.3%. Next, I will present about horizontal analysis analysis of the company. Sales or revenue are good because Apple company increases its sales every year. The highest is in 2021, 160.05%, while the lowest is in 2019, which is 113.74%. The cost of goods sold is also reasonable because every year their goods increase. So at 2021 is the highest at 150.3%, while the lowest is in 114.51%. Next is gross income. Gross income is not good because inconsistent every year. The highest is in 2021, 175.94%, while the lowest is in 2019, which is 112.47%. Next, interest expense is not good because the company uses too much to produce their product. The highest is in 2019, which is 154.31%, while in 114.22%. Then income tax is good because every year income tax decreases. The highest is in 2021, 92.31%, while the lowest is in 2020, which is 61.5%. Finally, net income is good because every year Apple company their income increases. The highest is in 2021, which is 195.82%, while is 114.29%. That's all from me. Now I will pass this presentation to Syahida.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURUL SYAHIDA binti ABDUL RAZAK and my matric number is 202046.524. So, we have calculated the common size of balance sheet and income statement. The vertical analysis is useful to understanding the internal makeup of balance sheet and income statement. In this vertical analysis, we will look up to the total current asset first. So as we can see here, the total current asset show the increasing trends and the percentage and the lowest percentage is in 2017 and the highest percentage is in 2019. Next, I will talk about total asset. The total asset increasing trend, which is the highest is in 2017, meanwhile the lowest is in 2021. Next, I will talk about the total current liabilities. The total current liabilities, as we can see here, show increasing trends. The lowest percentage is in 2017, meanwhile the highest percentage is in 2021. Next, the total liabilities show the increasing trend, which is as we can see, the lowest percentage is in 2017, meanwhile the highest percentage is in 2021. Then I will talk about total shareholder equity. The total shareholder equity is good because show the decreasing trend. The lowest percentage is in 2021, meanwhile the highest percentage is in 2017. And last but not least, shareholders equity. The liabilities and shareholders equity show the decreasing trend. However, the percentage is constant. Next, I will talk about the vertical analysis on Apple company income statement. So first of all, I would like to talk about sales revenue. As we can see here, sales revenue show the increasing trend and the percentage is constant. Then I would like to talk about growth. The increasing trends happen. However, in 2019, show the drop in the amount of the gross income. It is because the impact of COVID-19. However, they success to improve their gross income in the next year respectively. The highest percentage, as we can see here, the lowest is in 2019 and the highest in 2021. Next, I will talk about interest expense. Okay. As we can see here, show the increasing trend. As we can see here, the percentage in 2020 is the lowest, meanwhile the highest is in 2019. Okay, the income tax here show the increasing trend. The percentage in 2017 is the lowest percentage, meanwhile in 2017 show the highest percentage. Last but not least, the net income. The net income here increasing trend year by year, which is good. The highest percentage is in 2021. Meanwhile, the lowest percentage is in 2019. Okay, that's all for vertical analysis. Next, I would like to talk about current year ratio performance on Apple company. So under current year ratio performance, we have liquidity ratios, profitability ratios, activity ratios, and financial leverage ratio. So I will gonna talk about liquidity ratio and profitability ratio. Under liquidity ratio, we have current ratio, quick ratio, and net working capital to sales ratio. So as we look here, current ratio and quick ratio show the amount greater than 1, which show the company, the Apple company itself is in good performance. But however, the net working capital to sales ratio is not greater than 1 and show decreased analysis year by year. So next, I will talk about the profitability ratios. Under profitability ratios, we have gross profit margin, net profit margin, return on asset, and return on equity. All of these ratios show the increasing year by year, and it shows that the company success to increasing their profitability ratios. Okay, next I will pass to Akila Najla for activity ratios and financial leverage ratio.
Okay, thank you, Syahida. Now I will explain activity ratios. Activity ratios, as you can see, inventory turnover is not consistent because there is an increase and decrease. Total asset turnover increases every year, which is good because the company uses the assets very well. Next is financial leverage ratios consists of total debt to assets ratio, long-term debt to assets ratio, and total debt to equity ratio. Every year, increase is not good because the company takes a higher risk to grab interest and principal promises. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nur Akila Najla. Now I will present to you about horizontal and vertical analysis that we got from Samsung balance sheets by using data from the year 2017 to 2021. First, I will explain horizontal analysis based on the Samsung balance sheet. Horizontal analysis is a way of analyzing a company's financial statements over a period of time. It's usually shown as a percentage because this method is helpful if you're looking for a more in analysis. The first period, which is 2017, is considered as the base period, which is subsequent period comparing line by line result to the base year. For example, in the balance sheet, here the total current assets are 100%, as you can see, 100%. And compared to the year 2021, the percentage is increasing to 138.22%. The current assets value keeps increasing, which means it is good for the company because the current assets are assets that can be converted to cash within a year. And next, seeing the value of the total assets increasing year by year, yeah, as you can see here, it keeps increasing, shows us it is a good sign that the company is growing. And furthermore, according to the base year, which is 2017, it reported a total shareholders' equity is 207.21 trillion, and total equity is and 14.449 trillion. In the current year, which is the year 2021, Samsung report total shareholders' equity and total equity of 304.9 trillion. Therefore, Samsung total shareholders' equity grew by 147.15% from the year 2017 to 2021. While its total equity grew by 142.15%. This increase is good because that means it may indicate growth in a company profits, more flexibility in the case of an economic or financial downturn. Okay, next I will explain the vertical analysis. A vertical analysis is used to show the comparative size of the different accounts on financial statements. Moreover, for the balance sheets, the total assets of the company will show as 100% with all the other accounts on both the assets and liabilities side showing as a percentage of the total assets number. For example, here we can see is used in here. Okay, here the total assets is used as the base figure, so that's why. Okay. So that's why the percentage of the total asset is at 100%, and the following list item represent a percentage of the whole. The total current assets value, okay, here. Okay, the total current assets for the year 2017 is 49.46% and keep increasing until the year 2020. Here's until here, 2020, and which is 53.15%. But the company used to be in a good condition, but it started to decline. As we can see from the year 2021, it is a bit declined to 48.36%. Next, we move to the current liability. Okay. From the data, we can see most of the year, the current liability was keep decreasing. Which is good, but except for the year 2020, it increased a little bit, but managed to decline again in 2021, which is 15.52%. That means the company is in a good conditions. So we move to the last one, which is long-term debts. Here. It shows a drastic increase in the year 2021. Oops. Okay, here we can see, and it was below 1%, and then at 2021, the percentage is over 1%, and it is at 4.31%. Compared to the year 2020, which is 0.78 here. It shows that the company's debt level is too high and not good. Okay, that's all for me. Now I will pass to NORZEDA Sabarina.
Assalamualaikum. My name is NORZEDA Sabarina binti Sabaruddin. My matric number is 2020862418. I will explain about horizontal analysis of Samsung's income statement. Sales revenue is not consistent from 2017 until 2021. The highest is at 2021 with 116.70%, and the lowest is at 2019 with 96.17%. The cost of goods for Samsung is good because it keeps increasing. The highest is at 2021 with 126%, and the lowest is at 2018 with 102.43%. Next is gross income. Their gross income is not so good in 2019 and 2020, but it increased in 2021. The highest gross income is in 2021 with 105.29%, and the lowest is at 2019 with 73.84%. Next, the highest interest expenses is at 2019 with 105.69%, and the lowest is at 2020 with 88.95%. Their income tax is not good because it keeps decreasing every year, but it increased in 2021. The highest income tax is at 2018 with 120.06%, and the lowest is at 2019 with 62.03%. Net income also not consistent because the highest is at 2018 with 106.17%, and it dropped to 52.03% in 2019, which is the lowest. Now, I will explain about vertical analysis of Samsung's income statement. Firstly, the standard figure that we use as the base is sales revenues. The common size percentage are calculated to show each line item as percentage of the standard figure or base. By looking at the income statement, we can see the cost of goods. The cost of goods sold by this company is higher in 2019 among the 5 years with 65.55%, while the lowest is at 55.13% in 2017. The company gross income in 2017 is the highest with 44.87%, while the lowest is in 2019 with 34.45%. Next, we look at the income tax. 2018 recorded the highest percentage with 6.90%, and 2019 recorded the lowest with 3.77%. Lastly, the net income. The net income in 2018 is the highest with 18%, and the lowest is at 9.34% in 2019. Now, we move to liquidity ratio. The first one is current ratio. Current ratio measures the company's ability to pay short-term obligations or those within 1 year. For example, the current ratio for Samsung in 2021 is 3.11, which means that Samsung can cover its liabilities 3.11 times. The higher the current ratio, the stronger a company's short-term financial position is. Next is quick ratio. This ratio is more rigorous test of liquidity than the current ratio. A high acid test ratio is an indication that the firm is liquid and has the ability to meet its current or liquid liabilities in time. As we can see in the data, the highest quick ratio is in 2021 with 2.49. Next, we move to activity ratio. First, the inventory turnover measures the velocity of conversion of stock in sales and should neither be too high nor too low. In 2021, the inventory turnover is lower than the other year with 1.18. This is the signal of efficiency. It also implies either poor sales or excess inventory. Next, total asset turnover measures the efficiency of a company's use of its assets in generating sales revenue or sales income to the company. For example, in 2018, for every dollar in total assets, Samsung generated 2.33 in sales. Next is debt management ratio. Firstly, debt to asset ratio indicates the percentage of assets that are being financed with debt. Refer to the data, 2017 has the highest percentage with 28.33%, 8.92%, which means this year has greater financial risk. Next is time interest and ratio. This ratio shows how many times the annual interest expenses are covered by the net income. Fixed charge coverage is the same as time interest and ratio. Next is profitability ratio. First one is net profit margin. This ratio measures how much each dollar earned by the company is translated into profits. 2019 recorded the lowest net profit margin with 9.34%. Next is return on assets. It measures the net income produced by total assets during a period by comparing net income to the average total assets. The highest is in 2017 with 13.70%. Lastly, return on equity. This measures the company's ability to generate profit calculated as net income divided by average total equity. We can see the lowest is at 2019 with 8.44%. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. My name is NORZEDA SABARINA. Now I will talk about current issue and current development of Samsung. On 27 January 2021, Samsung Electronics reported financial results for the fourth quarter and the fiscal year 2021. The company posted Korean won 76.57 trillion in consolidated revenue, a quarterly record, and Korean won 13.87 trillion in operating profit in the quarter ended December 31, 2021. For the full year, it reported Korean won 279.6 trillion in revenue, a new historic high, and Korean won 51.63 trillion in operating profit. The fourth quarter revenue growth was driven mainly by the finished product businesses, with expanded sales of premium smartphones, including foldable phones, as well as TVs and home appliances. Operating profit declined from the previous quarter due to a special bonus payment to employees, but rose from a year earlier, driven by the semiconductor businesses. The strength in the US dollar against the Korean won offset the weakness in major emerging currencies, leading to a positive impact of approximately Korean won 300 billion on operating profit compared to the previous quarter. Next is mobile to focus on flagship, strengthening mass market 5G lineup. Overall market demand increased from the third quarter due to strong year-end seasonality. Despite the component supply shortage, the MX business saw a slight revenue growth quarter-on-quarter, driven by sales increase in premium smartphones, including foldable lineup and Galaxy S series. Device ecosystem products such as PCs, tablets, and wearables have also contributed to the revenue growth. Meanwhile, increased marketing expenses to boost foldable category sales and prepare for the launch of new models in Q1 2021 had impact on profitability to some degree. In 2021, uncertainties related to prolonged pandemic and component shortage are likely to persist. Yet, the smartphone market is expected to continue to grow and the wearable market is likely to see a double-digit growth. The MX business will solidify its leadership in the flagship market by accelerating innovations and differentiated experiences such as Galaxy S and foldable series, while strengthening the competitiveness of mass market 5G lineup and device ecosystem products. With these efforts, the company will strive to achieve material growth in 2021 and continue its effort to enhance profitability with an improved product mix and operational efficiency. Next is Samsung teams up with MDOX for 4G, 5G solutions in US. Samsung Electronics will collaborate with US-based software solutions firm MDOX to deliver fourth and fifth generation private wireless network solutions to boost the connectivity of firms in the United States, according to the company Thursday. The partnership will allow the companies to advance wireless communication, such as increasing download speed, and to simplify the deployment of 5G-ready citizen broadband radio service solutions for industries ranging from education to utilities, manufacturing, logistics, transportation, and retail. The companies did not unveil when to kick off the operation of their new private network solutions. Next, I will talk about current issue and current development of Apple. Firstly, supply issues cost Apple $6 billion in Q4 2021. CEO Tim Cook says that ongoing supply problems cost Apple $6 billion in the September quarter, leading to the company missing Wall Street revenue expectations. In an interview with CNBC on Thursday, Cook said that Apple managed a very strong performance despite larger than expected supply constraints. Additionally, Cook said that Apple will not provide formal revenue guidance for the first quarter of 2021, which corresponds to the holiday shopping season and is typically Apple's busiest quarter. The Apple chief executive did say that he expects solid year-over-year revenue growth. Back in July, Apple warned that ongoing supply chain issues could affect the iPhone and iPad in the September quarter. Earlier in October, reports indicated that Apple had cut iPhone production targets because constraints were nulling supply partner quotas. Second, Apple becomes first US company to reach $3 trillion market cap. Apple became the first US company to hit a $1 trillion market cap during intraday trading on August 2, 2018. It hit a $2 trillion valuation just over 2 years later on August 19, 2020. Apple hit a market cap of $3 trillion during intraday trading on Monday, tripling its valuation in under 4 years. Apple broke the barrier when its share price hit $182.86. The milestone is mostly symbolic, but it shows investors remain bullish on Apple stock and its ability to grow. Apple showed annual growth across all of its product categories in its fourth quarter earnings, with revenue up 29% year-over-year. Third, iPhone SE3 not expected to adopt MagSafe as production kicks off for 5G model and new iPad Air. One analyst believes that Apple's new iPhone SE could attract over 1 billion switchers from Android thanks to its support for 5G connectivity and the latest A15 chip inside. Much like the iPhone SE2 and the iPhone 8 on which this design is based, the new iPhone SE is expected to support key wireless charging. While some have speculated that this year's iPhone SE3 might also add support for MagSafe, supply chain sources cited by Mako Takara say that's not the case. According to reliable sources in China, the iPhone SE third generation, which is supposed to be the successor to the iPhone SE second generation, released in April 2020, will retain the iPhone SE second generation chassis design and will continue to support key wireless charging, but will not support MagSafe. According to reliable sources in China, the iPhone SE third generation will retain the design of the iPhone SE second generation and will continue to support key wireless charging, but will not support MagSafe. The report also indicates that Apple has started production of both the iPhone SE3 and a new iPad Air. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman has said that Apple is currently aiming to hold a virtual event in March or April to announce the iPhone SE3. The new iPad Air is also expected to be announced at this event.
Thank you, NORZEDA, for the presentation. Now, based on our analysis, we can conclude that the Samsung company is performing better and worth investing than Apple because Apple has a bad and negative performance based on annual report information. Okay, that's all from our presentation in analyzing the financial statement on both companies. Thank you.